Realizing that you're being manipulated by someone can be a terrible feeling, whether it's a bad friendship or a toxic relationship, or even just an uncomfortable encounter with a stranger. It's usually a clear sign that you need to get away from the manipulator and get away fast. But what about if it's the other way around? What if you're the one who's manipulating those around you? And what if it's worse? What if you don't even realize it? Today on Charisma, we're going to look at the 6 signs you're becoming a manipulative person, so that you can identify the clues and take action if needed. Sign number 1, you lie. We've all been told that lying is bad. As a kid, you were probably told that you should never lie to your parents or to your teachers. And by the time you reach adulthood, most of us have learned the value of honesty. If you're a manipulative person, though, you may find yourself struggling to tell the truth, no matter what the situation. As a result, you lie over and over again, either as a way to get what you want or as a means of controlling others. Let's look at the first type of lying: lying to get what you want. Children often engage in this type of lying because they learn better. For instance, if when you were a kid, your mom told you that you could only eat dessert if you finished your homework, you might lie and say that you finished it. As you get older, though, most people engage less and less in this type of lying as they realize not only that it's morally wrong, but that it's socially unacceptable. But as a manipulative person, you might be the outlier in that you continue to lie and try to get what you want, even as an adult. Maybe you want a job that you're not fully qualified for, so you beef up your resume with lies, or even lie in your job interview about your experience. In this instance, you're manipulating your future boss through lies in order to get something that you want. What about the second form of lying? Lying to control others. This is equally a sign that you're becoming a manipulative person. Let's say, for instance, that you're starting a business venture with a friend. After a while, your friend gets a great offer to join a startup elsewhere. The thing is, you don't want to lose them as a business partner, so you start lying to try and control them. You lied that you got huge leads with new investors. You lied that you heard the startup your friend is interested in treats their employees terribly. After a while, your friend agrees to stay on with you, but only because you controlled them with lies. Sign number 2, you're generous with expectations. True generosity doesn't come with the expectation that you'll give something in return. If you volunteer at a homeless shelter, for instance, you're giving your time away without any strings attached. If you're a manipulative person, though, you may only engage in generous behavior because you think you're going to get something in return. In other words, there are strings attached. Picture this: the dad of one of your college acquaintances runs a huge company, and you want in. You want nothing more than to get connected to this person's dad so that you can get a job at his company. The thing is, this person doesn't really like you. You never got along in college, and maybe you even had some sort of falling out. So, you start manipulating them through generosity in order to get that connection to their dad. You invite them over to hang out at your place, or maybe you even offer to buy them lunch. And while this all seems nice on the surface, your generosity is carried out with an ulterior motive. You want that connection to their dad so that you can get your dream job. What's more, once they make the connection for you, you're long gone, and so is your friendship. Said another way, your generosity wasn't genuine generosity. Sign number 3, you gaslight. I never said that. You're too emotional. You overthink things. Do any of these phrases sound familiar? If it's because you've said them yourself, then listen closely. You may be becoming a manipulative person. That's because these things are all things you might say to gaslight others, which is one of the biggest forms of manipulation out there. Let's say, for example, that you're in a relationship and you said something rude to your partner about one of their best friends. Understandably, they're upset. When they bring it up later, you might try to control and manipulate the conversation by telling them that they're remembering it wrong, or even that you never said the things that you actually did say. By doing this, you're manipulating your partner by making them feel crazy or like they're remembering the situation incorrectly. Let's look at another way gaslighting can manifest. Maybe you're in a committed relationship and you start flirting with someone else at a party, and your partner sees you. Later at home, they become upset as they confront you about your behavior. In reaction, though, you tell them that they're being overly emotional and overthinking the situation. Even though this isn't true, you're manipulating them by making them feel as though they were the one who did something wrong by overreacting. Sign number 4, You punish people. Have you ever not gotten your way and then gave the person responsible the silent treatment? Or have you been intentionally cruel to a loved one when they didn't give you something you wanted? If so, you might be guilty of manipulating others by punishing them when you don't get your way. This can be one of the cruelest forms of manipulation because you're inflicting double harm on others. That's because you're not only harming them by manipulating them, but on top of that, you're harming them by punishing them. Let's look at an example to make this clearer. Imagine you're in a relationship and you and your partner can't decide where to go to dinner. Eventually, you end up going to the restaurant that your partner wanted to go to instead of the one you wanted. Because you didn't get what you wanted, you punish your partner by being silent and unresponsive during dinner. This might make them feel so bad that they apologized for not going to the place you wanted. Thus, you manipulate them through punishment into getting what you want. On the other hand, you might punish people not by being outright mean, but by withholding something. For instance, you might normally be the go-to person for your best friend when they need to vent. But if you're angry at them, you may start withholding your ability to be there for them by ignoring their phone calls or texts. Sign number 5, you guilt others. Guilt is a powerful motivator, and that's one of the easiest tools manipulators use to get what they want. And if you're starting to become a manipulative person, chances are you've used guilt as a means to getting what you want. A manipulative person might remind someone of something that they've done wrong in the past in order to get what they want in the present. For instance, maybe you and your friend got into an argument a week ago. Now, you want them to do a favor for you. When they tell you that they would love to help but they don't have time at the moment, you might bring up that argument you had a week ago to guilt them. You might tell them that because of the argument, you don't feel like they're really your friend anymore, and you definitely won't feel like they're your friend if they don't help you out. In other words, by manipulating them through guilt surrounding the past argument, you're coercing them into doing what you want. Sign number 6, you move goalposts. Imagine this. You're a player in a soccer game and you're killing it. You're dribbling the ball across the field towards the goal. You're light years past anyone else. You make your move and kick the ball when, bam, suddenly the goal disappears only to magically reappear at the opposite end of the field. We can all agree that this isn't fair. It wouldn't be fair to have a goal at one end of the field and then move it without warning. Yet this is similar to what you might do if you're becoming a manipulative person. Pretend for a moment that you're in a new relationship and you have both agreed that you want to spend time together at least 3 times a week. This goes great until suddenly, one day, you announce that you're upset with your new partner because you're not hanging out every day. As you can imagine, your partner would probably be thrown off by this. How could they be expected to know that you wanted to spend more time together if you had initially agreed on something else? Yet this is something that manipulative people do to maintain control over others. By constantly shifting expectations, they confuse those around them and make them feel like they missed something or somehow were responsible for letting you down. What about signs someone is secretly a psychopath? Watch this video to learn about that.